Peace, peace. Welcome back to MYCOL Academy, where you can come as you are and leave better than you came. Today, I wanted to talk about failures. Are they our friends or foes? Have you ever been frozen by the thought of messing up? Like that fear of failure just stops you from doing something new? Or maybe you play it so safe you never really go for what you truly want. Well, today we're going to talk about what is failure, what is a friend, what is a foe, and what role does that play in our lives? Mine too. Yeah. So a little bit of backstory. This week, this time, this season has been wild for me. You know, I've been learning a lot about myself, about relationships, about my past, about my patterns. And it's left me in a state of reflection, you know, which is a perfect season. Reflection is the perfect seasoning for this season, because it's a time where it is snow, it is ice outside, and we get to see like how have we been operating for the past 3 months? How have we been operating for the past 3 years? How have we been operating for the past 3 lifetimes? And when we allow ourselves to dive deep into that, I saw this video that said wisdom isn't just coming from experiences, it's also coming from that stillness. And when we can allow ourselves to be still, we can allow ourselves to reflect on what's been going on. Sometimes the truth that comes out in that is more than when we're go mode. And that's exactly what it's been doing for me. I recently had some experiences with my partner where it took a turn. It took a turn. And it showed me myself in ways that like, sometimes you can only truly see yourself when you're in a relationship. And the reason I say that, you can see yourself when you're single and you by yourself in isolation and all that, but it's like you don't really see yourself until you put yourself around other people. Because when you put yourself around other people, you allow yourself to be shown new things, to feel new things, to do new things that you potentially wouldn't do by yourself, because they're having an experience. You're having an experience, and there's a birth of a new experience as you all come together. And when you all come together, it shows you the threads of everything that is led up into that point of you two or you all, because it could be more than just you and someone else, of you all coming together. And when you all come together, then it allows you to be in the space of, wow, like you become reflections on one another. It's like, you show me, I show you, and then together we're able to see things that we wouldn't be able to see without having that reflection of one another. And the recent reflection that came up for me was the idea of failure. You know, for so long, failure has been something that like I've done my best to like be like, nah, you know, I don't want to lean into failure, because if I fail, then I'm not right. And if I'm not right, then I'm not me. And if I'm not me, then I can't be right for you. And it just leads to all these different things. When really, like, I'm learning that failure is a part of the process. And as I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm reflecting, like the only thing that's allowing me to, outside of prayer, prayer is helping a lot. Yet the only thing that's really like keeping me sane throughout this uncomfortable transition and shift in my life is the fact that I get to learn from this failure. I get to learn from the fact that as I lean in to the process of what's uncomfortable, of what's new, and something that potentially I might have been avoiding all up until this point, now I'm in a position of, oh, okay, so I've been doing that? Oh, and that's been affecting you that way? Oh, but really it's been a subconscious matter, and the subconscious is 88% of what makes up my decisions. And I'm only in charge of that 12%. So if my failure has been a pattern that's been residing in that 88% of my subconscious, then how could I ever change what I'm doing if my 12% ain't engaging with that 88%? No matter how much effort I put in that 12, that 88 is trumping every card, it's acing it. So that's where I'm in the space now of like, okay, how do I rearrange that 88%? And it's this. Reflecting, speaking on it, and getting it out so you can get into what you want to do. And that's what brings me back to the topic today of failures. Are failures our friends or foes? And it's so interesting the perspective that we have, because when we see it as a friend, it's something that can help us. First, before I even get too deep into it, let's break down, what does failure even mean? Failure is an event that does not accomplish its intended purpose, aka a lack of success. Let me read that one more time. Failure is an event that does not accomplish its intended purpose, a lack of success. For so long, I've idealized failure as being this thing, this energy, this cloud of judgment that if I don't perform a certain way or XYZ, then that failure is going to take over, and I'll only be seen as such, as if the failure then becomes the identity, when that's so far from the truth. I failed many times throughout this lifetime and past lifetimes, and I'm still here. And there are people in my life that still love me, that still ride with me, that still decide to be by my side, regardless of the decisions that have been made, regardless. And I want to continue to be just that for myself, a friend. And before we get into a friend, like an event, failure is an event. So long I've been seeing failure as an identity, something that you become. You can be a failure, but that's not even what a failure is. A failure is an event, something you attend, meaning that you can leave whenever you want to leave. If it's an event, that means you ain't got to stay. You could show up for 5 minutes and be like, all right, I had my fun, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. But then at the same time, it also means that with it being an event, you're not the only one in the room. Usually when an event, there's other people there, so you're not having an isolated experience. So stop being so hard on yourself about it. And this is me talking to me right now. Stop being so hard on yourself for that 88%. Because the more that you decide to show up to that event and see that event as your identity, then you'll never leave the party. You'll never leave the room. And if you don't leave the room, how can you ever be more? How can you expand? How can you become what you've always been meant to be? If you stay in the room and assume the identity that was never yours to begin with. It's just something that you can pass through whenever you decide to. An event that does not accomplish its intended purpose. There's been so many times our intentions, we might have intention and then we have impact. We have the intention to be well, to do well, to live well, yet our impact may not always rise to the occasion. It may not always rise to the event. And just because maybe that action or that event was a failure does not mean our identity is rooted in that event, aka that failure. And we have friends that remind us of this. What is a friend? A friend is someone who supports you, encourages you, and helps you grow. Now, of course, there's many definitions. You can go look them up for yourself. These are just some that I came across that resonated with me and the purpose of me breaking this down. Yet, a friend is someone who supports you, encourages you, and helps you grow. Helps you grow. So then that's a friend. What's a foe? A foe is someone who opposes you, discourages you, and holds you back. Someone who opposes you, discourages you, and holds you back. So, I've been learning that the more we resist things, the more they persist. The more we resist things, the more we push against it, the more it pushes back. That's a law of the universe. What you push becomes pulled to you. Whatever you're pushing away, it's like your energy is giving off, I don't want it, in the conscious, in the 12%. But in that 88% is saying, oh, bring it here, bring it closer. I want it inside, And what's interesting about this is that the moment we see failure as a foe, someone who opposes us, someone who discourages us, and someone that holds us back, it's the exact thing we end up it's the exact thing we end up befriending. Meaning that we see a foe as someone that is supporting us, encouraging us, and helping us grow, when really it's keeping us from moving forward. A foe keeps you from moving forward. A friend is someone that encourages you on the way. And of course, in superhero language, foes are people that can help you become stronger. Absolutely. Yet usually those people, those heroes are training with friends. Even if that friend is a person inside that keeps them going. And then the foe is just a marker of what they're going up against. And that foe ends up usually becoming a friend, but not someone that holds them back. Someone that does encourage them to go further. And before we go too deep into it, let's just break it down simply. What are the problems that come with being afraid of failure? Number 1, analysis paralysis. I'm sure you all have heard this before. Analysis paralysis. If you haven't, analysis paralysis is overthinking and overanalyzing a situation to the point where we become paralyzed and unable to take action. Overthinking and overanalyzing a situation, an event, to the point where we become paralyzed and unable to take action. So that means you show up to the party of failure. You show up to the party of failure, and the moment you decide to just be in your mind and just think about the situation. Oh, I'm gonna think about it. Or I'm gonna overanalyze it. Oh, this person doing that person doing this. Or this person sipping that. Or that person smoking this. Or they dancing that way. Or they moving that way. What should I do? I don't know, because they doing that. But if I'm doing that, if they doing this, if they doing this, if I can do that, what if they gonna look at me if I do that? But they doing that. And then the whole time you standing still. All of these thoughts are moving around, but there's no progress. There's no actions actually being taken. In the moment that we can calm our minds to breathe and take a moment to be present, we can make a conscious decision and we can influence that 88%. We can influence that subconscious to embrace something new. And you ain't always got to be right. That's the beautiful thing about failure, is that it's an event. It ain't gonna last forever. Failure doesn't last forever. Look at anybody that's ever been successful. They've had more failures in their lives than they have success. The reason that we see it as success is because they failed more times than most people have even attempted to do the thing they are seen as successful at. I say that because I don't want to say tried. But we see people as being successful because they failed more. They attended the event of failure more than they attended the event of analysis paralysis. Because that usually leads to procrastination. Putting things off because we're afraid of not doing them perfectly or failing altogether. Why fail altogether by not even doing the thing that you intend to do? Yes, failure might be that you're not measuring up to what your intentions were. It may not match, the impact may not match the intention that you initially put out into the universe. Yet procrastination doesn't actually make it seem like you're progressing. Procrastination does not mean that you're moving forward in whatever it is you intend to do. Allowing yourself to take a step back and observe from another perspective beyond how you feel can allow you to see it from a whole different perspective. Because when you see failure through a pinhole, you miss the bigger picture. Yes, failure might be an event, but what if that event is a part of a bigger circus, a bigger game at play. And you think you might be attending and identifying with failure when really you're just playing the game. And by playing the game, it's a form of success. Because there's so many people who don't even have the opportunity to play. There's so many souls that didn't make it to this plane. There's so many beings that would love to be in the position that you are in right now. And that's not me trying to make you feel bad about anything that you got going on in your circumstance. It just means that your beginning is your blessing, and you receive a new beginning every day that you wake up. So your blessing is today. Your blessing is right now. Your blessing is, did you open your eyes today? Were you able to breathe today? Were you able to move today? You're blessed. Be well, do well, live well with your blessing that you receive every single day. That's not promised, but is granted. And what you do with that granting is a gift. It's a gift that can help you or hurt you, depending on the cards you play. So procrastination can also lead to what? It can also lead to people pleasing. Trying to please everyone around us instead of pursuing our own goals and dreams out of fear of disappointing others or being rejected. Trying to please everyone around us instead of pursuing our own goals and dreams out of fear of disappointing others or being rejected. All of this is in the same game. By giving into these P's, you're playing a certain game that's leaving you stuck in the same place, on the same level, fighting the same bosses. The coach has so much more planned for me. The coach has so much more planned for you. You got to get beyond this level though. You've been on this level too long. And ain't no cheat codes that can help you get through it. All you have to do is leave the party and see the party from a different perspective. Failure don't gotta be a foe. Failure don't have to hold you back. Failure don't have to oppose you. Failure doesn't have to discourage you. Failure can build you up. Failure can make you stronger. Failure can encourage you to keep moving forward. Failure can support you. Failure can help you be seen, supported, loved on. Failure can be your friend. Failure can be your friend, depending on how you choose to see it. Failure does not have to leave you in analysis paralysis. Failure does not have to leave you in procrastination. And failure does not have to leave you people pleasing. Because you want to attempt to make everything perfect. Perfectionism is another problem of fearing failure. And that's on the spectrum of you actually might be going out into the world and doing things, but they're never up to par because your vision of failure could be so big that event you can never escape, you can never leave. So if it's not within the scope of what you see, what you intended, it ain't even worth keeping. And any guru, any advisor, coach tells us all the time, there is joy in the journey. So enjoy the journey because that is where life is truly lived. It's not in the start and it's not in the destination. It's in the in-between. You got to start to get on the journey though. You got to start to get on the journey. What does that mean? That we get up every single day and we take a new step. Our start is a new step of that new day. That's a beginning of a new blessing. And that destination is when we're no longer able to make another step. And we stand where we are, we lay where we are, and we give it all the way back to coach. That's the destination. The destination is not when you become successful. The destination is not when you become praised. The destination is not when you become accomplished. The destination is not these things, not these possessions. The destination is in the being. The being that you came here and you did what you needed to do. You did what was asked of you. You completed your mission. That is the destination. To complete your mission. And the beautiful thing about your mission is it's not even on a timeline. I'm going to tell you a secret. Your mission is not on a timeline. Your mission is going to take the rest of your life to complete. That's the secret. The secret is your mission is going to take the rest of your life to complete. The key is you don't know when that mission is complete. You don't know when that timeline is done. So what are you going to do in between then and now? What are you going to do between the then and the now? Because if your mission is going to take the duration of your life here on earth, well, how do you want to spend your mission? How do you want to go get it? Especially not knowing if you're going to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Man, your mission is not attached to a timeline. My mission is not attached to a timeline. Wow. That's the first time I ever heard anybody say that. And the first time I ever seen it that way. That my mission is not attached to a timeline. Wow. That's hitting me right now, man. I spent so much time, energy, effort attempting to solve other people's problems instead of just living my own solutions. I spent so much time, energy, and effort attempting to solve other people's problems instead of just living my own solutions. And not completely. Like, of course, I've been living. Yet, seeing that my mission is not attached to a timeline shows me like, man, some of my blessings, some of my days I spent giving to others that were not on my mission. And then again, who am I to say if they was on mission or not? Coach might have other plans and be like, it was all perfectly designed for you to come to the point of where you are exactly right now. You know what? That could be perfectly right. Who am I to question that? Well, I am me. I'm a reflection of my coach. And my coach gives me the plays. And those plays tell me to play the game well. Play the game with honor. Play the game with love. Play the game with respect. Play the game full of passion and purpose. And play the game to win. Play the game to win. And one thing about focusing too much on other people's problems is that it leaves you in a state of loss. Because in order to solve other people's problems, you have to focus on their loss, what they don't have, what they lack. And although they can be good for business, it can erode the soul. Focusing on other people's problems can be good for business, but erode the soul. So there has to be a harmony between it. There has to be a harmony. And coach is telling me now it's time to live my own solutions. Because solutions always breed more problems. Maybe I don't need to go solve other people's problems. I can just solve my own. I can just share my own solutions. Solutions that are working for me. Why go searching for other people's problems when it's enough in front of me? It's enough inside of me. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying those problems are opportunities. Because I'm physically, viscerally, consciously, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually deciding, making a decision. Every day I get a new blessing, a new beginning to see my failures as friends instead of foes. That yeah, I might go to the event of failure, but I don't have to stay there. And while I'm there, I can have a jolly of a good time. I don't need to be in a space of self-pity because of a mistake, or self-hatred because of a decision, or guilt or shame because of a choice, because of a pattern, because of belief that was passed down that wasn't mine to begin with. And I'm in the process of leading this shadow program, being a guide, and it's teaching me so much about myself. Like, man, me attending the event of failure for too long and identifying it with my identity has left me questioning who I am far too many times. How can I fully be in my power and be on mission, be a man on my mission, if I don't even know who I am? Because I've been staying in the room, staying at an event far too long. And that's the thing about the failure party. You stay there too long, it ain't fun. You stay there too long, it ain't fun. And it ain't for the weak. The beautiful thing about it, though, is that it's teaching me, like, okay, if I've been there and I'm deciding to take another step towards a new beginning with my new blessing on this new day, that means there's others as well that are deciding to take a new step on this new day with a new blessing, with a new beginning today. They're taking a new step at a new start to be on mission, be aligned, and fulfill and complete that mission for all their days to come. So I am not alone on my mission. And therefore, it is for me to stay on mission to attract the people that also are completing their mission. And as we come side by side, attracting the tribe that is working within their mission, then we can do what needs to be done here on earth. Because we had a special time in earth where it's going through a cleansing, it's going through a process of revitalization, it's going through a process of renewal. And one law about renewal is you have to remove to renew. You have to remove to renew in order to become new. The new true version of you. So it's time I remove myself from the identity of failure and start to see it as just an event. You attend that event, you have a great jolly time, you learn, you listen, you lean in, you leave. You learn, I learn, I listen, I lean in and leave when it is time for me to leave. Because success is on the outside of the event of failure. Yeah, you cannot go around failure to go to success. You cannot go under failure to get to success. You cannot go over failure to get to success. You cannot teleport beyond failure to get to success. No matter what route you take on your mission, failure, there's events that will happen. There are events. You got birthdays, you got holidays every single month. You got birthdays and holidays every single month. The more people you know, the more people you impact, there's going to be events every single week. The more you are in alignment with your mission, there may be events every single day. And all of those events have opportunities to be failures. Yet if you stay at the event, then how can you ever move the mission forward? You go through the mission. You go through the failure. You go through the event. You walk in, you show up, you show out, and then you shake. You show up, show out, and shake. You attend the event. You listen, you learn, and you leave. You listen, you learn, and you leave. And you receive what you need on your journey to succeed. You go to the event of failure. You listen, you learn, you leave, and receive what you need to succeed. That's the only option. That's the only option moving forward, living this life on this mission. I've been called. You've been called. I've been chosen. You've been chosen. And your mission ain't attached to a timeline, but it is now time. It is now time for you to stay aligned. Stay aligned every day. That you you will go through the event of failure, yet it is for you to stay aligned on mission. Stay aligned on your mission. Because the more you in alignment with your mission, the more you in alignment with your manifestations. And what you manifest is the fusion of that 88 of your subconscious and the 12% of your conscious. And that makes 100% of the potential that you give for the play to coach. We're running the play as a coach. The coach is sending us the uploads and the inspiration and the being able to see the unseen for the 88% so we can move into 12. So we can move into 12. That 12 is dependent on how well we run that play though. You got the play, you got the plan. Prepare yourself to run the play, run the plan, play your game, stay in your race, stay in your lane, play your game. Every day. And your failure will become a friend, not a foe. Thank you for listening. I pray this brought you some type of value and that you were able to use it in your life of how to reframe failure to be a friend instead of a foe. That you don't have to allow it to control your life and leave you down in a dumpster. You can use it to be a bridge of a new beginning and a new blessing that you have access to every single day. I have access to new blessings, new beginnings, and bridging them to my mission every single day that I take another step and I play my game. If you'd like for me to go further in this, please drop comments, questions in the comment section so I can see them. And I appreciate you all listening, man. If you want to learn more about this topic and other classes that we got coming, feel free to sign up to the MYCOL Academy membership by going to mycolacademy.com and clicking sign up today to get you inside the membership, to get access to other people solving real problems with real superpowers. Come on. Are your failures friends or foes? You decide. I see you on the inside. Peace.